What's good, YouTube? We're back with another replay review. This week we have my Week 4 War League match against Sizzle of Team X. As of recording this vid, Crow's Nest on the seasons 1 and 2 overall, and on this week's War are sitting at 1 and 1. So going into this game, it's a pivotal match 3. Whoever wins this is going to be up a game going into the stretch of our war. So big match. I'm feeling up for it. I don't think I've actually ever played Sizzle before, but I know he's a very solid player. He actually won the RBET in Orlando, the in-person one last year, so you can't be a slouch if you're taking down whole big tournaments like that. So yeah, I know it's going to be a tough task. I feel like I'm up for it, and let's hop into the match, shall we? So we win RPS, good start, and we open Dust Shoot, also a good start. As you can see this week, I am switching up the deck a little bit. I'm on Blackwings this week. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a Blackwing expert, but I've been playing it a decent bit lately. I feel pretty comfortable with it. I mean, the deck's kind of just broken. It's arguably best deck of the format. I think indisputably like top 3 deck of the format. And yeah, my team felt like it was a good pick for our potential matchups this week with Team X. So decided, you know what, let's load up the birds and see what happens. So let's get into it. We fire off the Allure, decide to just banish the Bora. Yeah. And then we're just going to go ahead, since we have the road, and set everything here. Definitely want to set the Dust Shoot, and then, yeah, you can argue maybe I only want to set 2 alongside the road to make it like less obvious. It's like, so that he might heavy storm me, but I think I want all these back row down. Dust Tornado to end phase snipe something, as well as Prison to not get beat in if he goes for an aggressive play. Or I guess I should preface this, I'm like 90% sure he's going to be playing Value Turbo. That's what he played at the Orlando event, that's what he's been playing in War League, that's what I've heard him say he believes is the best deck, which honestly, with the fact that it's like winning all the tournaments recently, it's kind of tough to argue that it's not. But I expect him to be on Value Turbo, and I know he also plays Spirit Reaper in his lists, so getting on the Deep Prison to not let a Spirit Reaper just connect directly and get a +1 is another consideration. So yep, we set everything, and we fired the Dust Shoot. Nothing too crazy there, and let's take a look at the hand. So he's got a pretty good one himself, and it's a good thing I won the die roll, because he would have got me with the Dust Shoot right off the bat himself. But we take a peek, and I'm pretty sure here we just decided to send back Dad. There's arguments to be made for sending back the Raikou or the Spirit Reaper, because the Dad's not really getting live anytime soon. Like, if I put back the Raikou, and then if he goes for like Reaper and I prison that, then he's on like no darks with a dead Dad in hand. But if I put back the Raikou and then he just like sets a Spirit Reaper, then I have no way of clearing that. And then the Dad's just like a ticking time bomb, because it is like very, very easy to get it live quickly in Value Turbo. It's just the scariest card. I don't really expect to kill him that quick. So yeah, ultimately just decided to send back Dark Armed. And then here he goes ahead and summons the Reaper, swings direct. He knows there's probably a battle trap here, but I think he's comfortable just trading 1 for 1 there. And then with the upside of, if my back row is just stuff like Starlight, Icarus, Bottomless, stuff like that, the Reaper could connect. But yeah, just trades with the Prison. I think that's a trade he's like okay with. And then he just sets 1 and passes. Understandable. Here, I'll hide the hand just so we don't see his future draws. So here we draw into Shura, which is nice, something that can just pressure him for an immediate 1800. We know his back rows are not doing anything at this point. It was nice that we drew a normal summon. If we drew like another Sirocco or something, where we couldn't actually get it in play, and then we ended up getting having to hold to 4 cards to let the Dust Shoot get live, that would have been annoying. So yeah, happy to draw a summon that we can just apply some pressure with. Here we know he's probably just sitting the Raikou, and then he sets a back row, most likely just the dead Dust Shoot or dead Deck Dev, try to bait like an Icarus attack or something to like trade with like real cards, because he knows it's not really getting live. Yeah, here you pick up Legacy, not the worst. So here we just swing in, trade with the Raikou, that's fine. He does mill Necrogard now, which is kind of annoying. So Raikou trades with Ashura, and then he gets a Necrogard and Engrave, so reasonable trade for him. So we're just going to go ahead and set the Legacy pass. Here he picks up a Lure, which is kind of annoying because it brings 2 new cards into play that we no longer know about from the Dust Chute. A Lure, just like draw spells in general, are good ways to mitigate the hand knowledge from Dust Chute. So goes with a Lure, banish value, nothing too crazy there. Sets a new one, and we do end phase Dust Tornado that because we figure that's more likely to be an actual real productive back row for him. Draw into Bora, so figuring these 2 are just dead cards, we're going to go ahead and summon it and swing in. You could argue like maybe I want to hold it for like a Sirocco special Bora pump, but he does have the Gardna to stop that play in the future, and yeah, I think just putting on the immediate pressure is fine. If he summons his own Sirocco and like just beats over it, we don't have a way to stop that, but we can at least contest that with the Cyber Dragon, which he would then probably have to just like Necrogardna, which is like fine. So yeah, we're okay with that. Just get in some damage, keep a pressure on. We are the aggro deck here, you know. The longer it goes, the more chances we give for him to find his cards and stabilize, you know, find his burial or something. Yep, so here he fires the brain control that we know about, so we figure he probably has some conversion. Realistically, Caius or like Plague Spreader or Gale are the likely conversions for the free body. So goes ahead, swings in first, gets in for the 17, and then here comes the Caius. So actually, there's no real punish that we currently have for this because if he hits the Starlight, then he gets rid of it for free. If he hits the Legacy and we're forced to chain, then we're going to be drawing to 4 cards per turn, and that will get his Dust Chute live. So he's going to have a good result here regardless. Does hit the Starlight, so gets the free plus and passes back to us. So stabilize a little bit. We pick up the Storm, which is potentially pretty good. There's no real point in firing it yet though, because we know his back row don't really do anything, and even if we did fire it and he doesn't chain his deck dev, then we don't have any way to currently beat over a Caius. So we're going to opt to just set the Storm here and wait a turn and see what he does. If he sets another back row into it, we could potentially get him for a 3-for-1 Storm, since we have the Legacy as our other one, which would be really nice. So he just swings in and passes, understandable. So we draw into Bora. So now we have a way to actually clear the Caius by doing the Sirocco Bora play. And here's where so the thing about the Sirocco Bora play though is he does have the Necrogardna, which means he can stop the attack and then Caius can just like swing over the Sirocco. So here I opt to actually flip the Storm to try to bait him to get rid of to try to bait him to chain his deck dev. To get this Caius off the board, because we don't really have a clean way to get rid of it when it's backed up by Necrogardna. So I have to flip the Storm and then chain Legacy, obviously. But yeah, you can. And I also debated: do I want to like summon the Sirocco first and then flip the Storm? I feel like he's less likely to chain deck dev if I do that, because he knows that there's less cards in my hand for him to potentially hit, and yeah, and if he doesn't, then we're in that spot. Like I said, if I do the special Bora pump, then he has his Gardna backing it up. So I'm like, I kind of want to just like flip Storm, see if we can get him to chain this, and then proceed from there. So that's what I do. I'm not really sure what the best way to attack this turn would be, but that's what I like to do. He does chain it, which hits nothing. There's a chance to hit something off this Legacy drop, but there's not that many targets in my deck. So he takes a peek, doesn't hit anything. Get rid of that, and then we're just going to go ahead and poke in with the Bora. to keep the pressure on here. And yeah, so this card is really annoying, and it's like, yeah, it's very good against Blackwing specifically, because like Sirocco Pump clear stuff is like a big way that we can clear their Siroccos and Armed Wings, but when they have their Garden up to protect against that, then it's just something you can't interact with and makes things pretty awkward. But yeah, we decided to summon the Bora, get in there, and pass back to him. And then here, despite my my pleas, he does drop the Dark Armed that he redrew after he dust shooted it back. Unfortunate, but sometimes it'd be like that. Yeah, so we don't have a stop for it. We know we're dead to any normal summon. He has Armageddon too, so yeah, that's just going to be GG. So, despite going first with Dust Shoot, feeling like I was ahead for most of that, yeah, the Necro Garden Mill made things awkward, and then the Dark Arm, the Necro Garden Mill into, the Brain Caius was pretty good, and then Dark Arm to finish me off. Yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot more I could have really done there. Just kind of ran into some value doing value things. It's a good deck. It'll get you sometimes for sure. So we're on to game 2. Certainly not the best hand here. No Whirlwinds. Bora's the only monster, which you don't really want to, like, no Kalutes or Siroccos or Blizzards to, like, synergize with it. It's just not really doing a whole lot yet. So I think we're just going to lead on set Dust Tornado here, I'm pretty sure. Just get something chainable in play for, like, not having Raikou like pop my real back row. Want to clear the way for, like, if he does lead on a set monster, we're gonna pop the back row, then knock the set and get in with Bora. So yeah, and then setting multiple obviously risks the storm, but yeah, I feel like pretty okay with that. I think a punish would be if he does have the one Spirit Reaper, and we don't set the prison, then he can get in for a plus here, but we're okay taking that risk, I think. So here he charges, hits Greffer and Vayu. So 2 darks to set up another potential Dark Arm, as well as hitting the Vayu is definitely a decent mill for him. Yeah, here we're definitely just going to knock and then swing in with the Bora. Not exactly rocket science there, just put on the pressure. And then here I do decide I want to set another back row, because any Armageddon, Greffer, or Sirocco is just going to clear this for free if we don't. So both Bottomless and D-Prison stop any of that. But we opt to set the Bottomless first, because this is just a card you want to get in play earlier than later, usually, because you don't want to have to set it into an established field. Like, if he has back row removal for, like, say we set the prison, he has back row removal, and then he, like, does a Greffer plus Armed Wing play, then this Bottomless isn't really doing anything. The argument for, like, setting the prison is because we have 2, we care less about this one getting Raikou popped. We do know he has a Raikou. So you could argue maybe I do set the prison, but I do opt to just set the Bottomless. And then, yep, so here just does set Raikou, set 2. Nothing too crazy. We do decide to just end phase Dust Tornado 1. Hit his own dust, which is fine. Draw into another Bora. Another 1700 vanilla, just what we want. I mean, that's the thing with Blackwings. Sometimes the wins, when you have the Whirlwinds going and the Dad and Blizzards and whatnot, it can just feel so free. Other times you're just like, I'm playing with vanillas. Like, this deck stinks. It can be, like, it definitely can be both super strong and feel super helpless at times. And yeah, definitely not the best right here. But piercing through Raikou for some damage is not too bad. So. Here we're getting some damage. He pops our back row and mills Necro Garden again, which this card is so annoying, man. Makes it just like makes you have to play so much differently for like a lot of the game, even if it's not actually like trading 1-for-1 on the surface level. Like, it gets so much value in like forcing you to not be able to do like Sirocco pump stuff, and yeah, just very good card. So. Not too thrilled to see it milled there, but is what it is. So Here we just go ahead and set the prison and pass. I could have like tried to cheese, like set Storm alongside it or something, but don't really want it getting popped by Raiko, or if he does have Dark Armed again, then it just dies for free, which you don't really want either. So just set the prison and pass, because that, again, that stops like Sirocco or Armed Wing from beating over a guy. And okay, so here he allures, banishes value again. And then thinks for a bit here. I think I see him like looking at, yeah, thinks for a bit and then fires a Dark Armed, which is at this point we know we're in some shit. Nothing on the field answers this, nothing in my hand answer this. I'm like, uh-oh, here comes Daddy once again to cause me some trouble. And then he's like doing this and like checking his banish file, and I'm like, oh no, does he have return too? Like, am I about to just die here? So he has Armageddon. So I'm like, crap. Like, if he just flips return, I'm toast. And then he has Burial. I'm like, oh well, that also works. A nice little dad burial, classic value, bingo bango OTK here. And that is just gonna be the game. And then he shows me after the fact he did have return too, so he's kind of had all the gas. If I had like set prison earlier when it got Raiko popped, and then had the bottomless for Dad, that would have been like less bad. But I think he still would have cooked me with burial and return. He just had like a ton of gas, and then if I recall correctly, yeah, his last card in hand is brain control too. So yeah. You do have to get lucky in this game, and sometimes your opponent just has the goods, and that was definitely the case here. So kind of gave me the swift 2-0, and I'm not sure there's a whole lot more I could have done. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So yeah, shout out Sizzle, super chill dude, great player. Hopefully I get another chance to play and maybe draw a dad of my own next time. But yeah. Good match with him. So we do drop to 1-2 on the war after this, with Mr. Maple and Corinna left to play. Needing both of them to win their matches to pull off the 3-2 win on the week. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So Crows do fall to Team X, which is a very good team. It's going to be tough. So we're now 1-3 on the season, but still plenty of time to right the ship and make a run. So I think the Crow's Nest will be just fine. Just got to control what we can control. Took the L this week, but I think we're going to bounce back and be better than ever for the rest of the season. But anyways, that's the replay review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.